Welcome back to the KickNPost YouTube channel. It's your boys, Amal and Kris. NFC Wildcard Weekend predictions. What's good, Kris?
You know what's good?
Do I?
No, I don't know.
I was about to say what we hit with on this one. Anywho,
I don't know.
big weekend in the NFC. Got some fun matchups. I don't know. In my personal opinion, I think the Giants-Minnesota matchup is what I'm most looking forward to. I know that sounds wild to say, but I've been beating the drum that Minnesota is super overrated. Super
100%.
overrated. I've had them as fraudulent. Every time I've talked about Minnesota, I've made it very clear that I think this team is fraudulent.
Frauds.
And they've played the Giants before this year, and I know it doesn't mean much, especially when you have to see a team a second time. But I got Saquon in the playoffs. I saw Kenny Galladay show up. I saw Kenny Galladay show up with the snag. He might be useful for the playoff game. I got Vanilla Vic torching them for at least 70 on the ground.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
You're not wrong.
I'm
It's just
excited.
The Vikings' issue is that their offense isn't consistent and their defense is the worst in the league. It's just point blank period. Whereas the Giants have a really good defense. They're solid. They've been solid for a minute now. They're finding their groove. And this is going to be a game where I don't think the Vikings are going to be able to play catch-up ball like they won the majority of their games. Like, if they go down 14-20, it's not going to be enough time. The defense on the other side is too good for them to, do what they did to the Lions, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That was just...
Or the Colts.
Yeah, or the Colts. Those are just... The timing of the two, it's all right, this defense isn't that good. We have time to come back. Whereas when Saquon puts two on your head, you're like, dang, let's get Jjettas the ball. And when you can't get him the ball, it's like, okay, well, let's see if Cook can get on the ground. Oh, he can't? Okay, so let's lean on Kirk Cousins. GG's. So,
Wish not to get too off topic, but as soon as you said two from Saquon, it brought up a topic in my head. I saw a mock draft recently with the Giants taking Bijan Robinson. Bro, what?
That would only be if they
don't re-sign him.
Barkley.
I know.
Yeah, because they're going to have to re-sign him, and I think they
Yeah.
do.
I think they re-sign him too.
Yeah, too much on the business aspect. He sells tickets, so.
He's the face. But then again, Bijan Robinson could easily become the face. Anyway, let's not get too out there on prospects. You know, me and Kris are eventually going to drop our mock draft predictions.
Yes,
Love
sir.
doing that crap every year. But let's hop into the next matchup. I'll let you start off this time, though.
We're going to go with your GOAT that we were just talking about. See, we were just on the phone, and this man's...
Okay. I was about to say, you really going to call me out this quick? But all right, go ahead.
I got to, because you was talking all that baloney, talking about Tom Brady going to beat the Cowboys. I know the Cowboys looked ugly last week, but Brady looked ugly all year. Brady ain't been Brady. Brady is still going through it up here. He had one good week where Mike Evans resurrected. Go ahead. Take it. I got the Cowboys winning. No question.
I just want there to be a seed of doubt in your mind. That's all. You're a little bit too confident in the Cowboys team that has not shown the ability to show up in the playoffs since how long ago?
You're right. And when's the last time Tom Brady showed up when he wasn't playing the Carolina Panthers?
I don't know, man. I don't know when's the last time.
saying,
I just know when's the last time a quarterback has practically led the league in interceptions while also missing 6 games.
You're right. That's tough. But at the same time,
that's tough.
I'm looking at the company associated with the two. The Bucs defense is good. Don't get me wrong. But I do feel like the Cowboys have a better chance of winning with Dak having a shitty game, whereas if Brady has a shitty game, your season's done.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, no doubt. I think the pieces around Dak, I think the pass rush and the secondary in Dallas can make plays for them to win the game more than the pass rush and secondary in Tampa.
Hell yeah.
But my angle is if they're forcing Dak to produce at a high level for them to win the playoff game, I have less faith in Dak performing at a high level on that big stage than Tom Brady performing at a high level on that big stage. I will write off the rest of the year for Tom Brady in a playoff game. Even in his worst playoff game last year, where the Rams was whooping on him and the game looked ugly, they still had something to worry about at the back end of the fourth quarter, right? So, my stance is going to be the same. Tom
you're
in the
acting
playoffs.
like this either, but the Rams weren't that good last year. They really weren't.
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with y'all? They just won games. That's it.
Well, it worked out for him, I would say. No?
Yeah, they got a ship because of Aaron Donald and company. But we dominate the whole game. Let's put that out there. There's no Rams game where they had to or most of their games, like you said, they had to come back to the fight in the fourth.
I'm really gonna listen to a Bengals fan tell me that the Rams were that good last year.
If the ref doesn't throw that weak ass pass interference on Logan Wilson, we would have a ring right now. That worst call. I'm gonna throw it on the screen too. Worst call in his worst call.
Mushed Jalen Ramsey coming out of the second half.
I don't know what. We off topic. We talking NFC.
Okay, I was about to say we're gonna call missed calls. You all got a good one off of missed call too.
You're right. It's straight. You know what? It's cool.
It's back and forth.
Get back to it. Okay, so I think, do we even have to talk about 49ers Seahawks? Do you want to waste
we do.
No.
The last time I did this, they pooped on my head. I am not disrespecting the Seahawks anymore. I think the Niners are going to win. Let me put that out there. I think the Niners are also going to cover the spread. But I'm happy for the Seahawks. I'm happy for Geno. I have to apologize to Pete Carroll. I thought he was a fraud. He showed that he could coach a little bit this year, especially. He has me actually second-guessing what Russell Wilson's about. But they're going to go out there. They're going to compete. But I just think it's too much. That Niners defense is too much. It's going to be overwhelming. They got people at each level of the defense that are playing at high level right now. You got to worry about the line. You got to worry about the linebackers. You got to worry about the DBs out there. It's just crazy that every layer of the defense has a dog. And then you go on the other side, and there's just weapons all over the place. Ayuk's coming to his own. Kittle showing up the last 3 or 4 weeks. Brock Purdy is doing exactly what he needs to do, keeping the ball safe, making the right reads. And then they added the cheat code back there, Christian McCaffrey, and he's just getting off in the system. So it's hard to look at that team and be like, oh, yeah, they're going to get shocked by the Seattle Seahawks with Geno and Tyler Lockett playing with screws in his hand. And, it's tough.
Yeah, it's just like you said, too many weapons, tough environment, tough situation. They have to be on all 4 cylinders coming out the gate. They don't – if they punt 2 times in a row, that could be detrimental. That could be the game. This is the type of situation they're stepping into because, like you said, CMC went from being a system to being in a system, and he's thriving. You got Debo coming back. You got Ayuk. And then you got Purdy, who's the prettiest one of them all. So it's like
okay.
If Geno gets this done, I think it's going to be one of the best things that he can put on his resume, closest to winning a Super Bowl because this is a very tough matchup.
They should give him a 2-year deal if he wins this.
You should really consider building around him.
Yeah.
At least. Because, if he got you to the playoffs, now, granted, we love the Detroit Lions, but you made it. You're here. You can upset, honestly, the best team in the NFC because the Eagles are frauds. That gives you a legitimate chance at a ship. It does. Because think about it. If we have the Giants winning and then I got the Cowboys winning, that means they will play the Cowboys. The Cowboys can be exposed, too. And then in a better situation, they get matched up.
We're not going to just jump over like you didn't say the Eagles are frauds, though.
Frauds. And then worst case scenario, you get the Vikings. Give me the Vikings. As long as they get past the 49ers, they will then inherit the easiest road, I feel like.
My take was going to be if they faced any other team on this wild card weekend, there'd be a conversation for it could swing, Yeah. I just think they drew the wrong team. If they played the Giants or the Vikings, I have them either neck and neck or possibly winning both those matchups. And I know that's disrespectful to the Vikings, but I just don't believe in that team. And then you have them against the Cowboys or Tampa. I have both those teams beating them, but I think it would be close. I just think this one's not going to be. They got the one team where no matter who ran up against this Niners team week 1, wild card weekend, it would have been ugly. So, yeah, tough.
Yeah, I do believe the 49ers are the only team that aren't considered frauds in that conference.
You're definitely going to have to come back. Now. We're going to have to get back on this thing pretty soon for you to explain to me how the Eagles are frauds. Maybe after wildcard weekend when some of those matchups are locked in for the next week. Because I don't get what you're talking about, bro. How?
I don't want to. They're not frauds. They're just in a tough situation. We'll break that down in another video.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, we'll get into it because this is NFC wildcard weekend, and them boys played well enough to not have to deal with us talking about them on the wildcard weekend. So we'll hop about it on another one. But sheesh, you just left me on a cliffhanger there, bud.
I'm just speaking off the dome. Like, I'm not gonna say too much, but if you had a Eagles 49ers conference championship, who are you going with?
Unfortunately,
Like,
for all the Eagles fans, the Niners.
exactly. You don't have to think about that. So
But
why as the two
I'll tell you
seed-
why. I'm not trying to give too much like breakdown. I just don't know what I'm getting out of Jalen with his shoulder.
There you go.
That's
exactly
the only
that.
reason. If that's what it is for you,
Exactly
then I get it. If that's what we crack the code with, then I get it. If you were telling me the 100% healthy Jalen Hurts led Eagles were frauds, that would kind of have me reason to pause because I wouldn't.
I would say their defense would be frauds, but you add their defensive woes along with Jalen Hurts' shoulders, which then limits his game significantly. We don't know what we're gonna see next week.
That's a fair point.
So do you lay down the whole franchise for one game? Because like it's to be like a Cam Newton situation where like you could make it worse by playing them, but you won't know until afterwards. And for all we know, it could be a slippery slope.
We'll have a week to see how his shoulder is progressing, and we'll get more updates on that. But we'll see. And then Gardner ain't no slouch now. Anyway, let me chill out.
Yeah, okay.
This has been NFC Wildcard Weekend Predictions with your hosts Amal Thompson, Chris Perry. We're glad to have the boy back to back vids. Thank the Lord he's back. Got his own room, got his own setup out of the closet, and he's back.
Yes, sir.
I can't wait to come back after Tampa wins this game, man. So we could talk about the GOAT. So let's get these show ups on the road. Let's get these showdowns on the road, and we'll be back with y'all with what's the second weekend called? Because I don't know. Is it divisional playoffs weekend at that point?
I'm new
after
to
the
this.
wildcard
It's my
weekend?
second year, so I don't know.
I think it's divisional playoffs after the wildcard weekend. So we'll cover the divisional playoff weekend after the wildcard weekend, and we'll hop back into things then. But until then, see y'all on the next one. Peace.